Hello, Terry, Hot Wrench Fabrication. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm looking at this Camaro. I actually just did a video on this Camaro for some wiring that I did. Cleaned up a bunch of the wiring and got some of his lights working and fixed a few little odds and ends. And the customer also wanted me to look at this thing for an overheating problem. Well, Arizona and overheating, they kind of go hand in hand with each other. But I think there is some things that I can improve on. The setup that is on here now is just completely wrong. As you can see, that fan is offset. The whole area to the passenger side is blocked off. So they put a shroud on there, which is, kind of the right idea, but execution was very poorly done. This whole area right here is completely blocked off. They put the fan basically right against the core. There's no airflow whatsoever. So I had this thing running, the fan was going, and plenty of airflow right here. You could put my hand, you could actually feel the air blowing. And then over here, it diminished tremendously. I mean, there's a quarter of the air flowing through here than there is on over here. So that's huge. That's a big no-no. The other problem is with this flat area here, as you're driving down the road, the air is trying to force its way through the radiator, but it has nowhere to go. It just hits this wall. You really need to have some sort of flaps or baffling in there, which they don't have. So that's not good. And obviously the reason why they did that, as you can see, there's just not enough room in here to put the fan in the middle where it's supposed to be. So I bought a short snout water pump for it. Short snout is about 2 inches difference. So hopefully the end of it's going to come out right about here. Give me a little bit more room. I can make a proper shroud and put this in the middle where it belongs, and then have a little bit of angle on the shroud to give it some room for the air to actually flow. So that's what I'm going to do today. Work on getting that all tore apart, and we'll see if that works. So stay tuned for some basic mechanics and making a shroud, and see if we can improve on the overheating problem. Alright, so one of the other problems is the fan is not fuse protected. I actually redid the wiring on this, and then it dawned on me after I was finished that there was no fuse protection on here. Fans go up in here in this little harness, go over to here, and then the power comes out of the back of the alternator down. And I was thinking about this the other day. I'm like, dang it, there's no fuse protection on there, which I should have picked up. That's really important, especially with the fans. The fan's running a lot, draws a lot of amps. That could get hot and start melting some of these wires. So I'm actually going to take off this hokey little controller right here. It has a switch built into the manifold, so that turns on the relay, which turns on the fan. So I'm going to put a little fuse block in there and a relay, weather pack relay, make it a little bit nicer, clean that up. Also, it's kind of a sandrail deal. I haven't seen a whole lot of street cars, but I'm going to make a upper radiator hose out of metal. It's kind of a neat look. That's going to go on there like that, and then I'll have another one that goes on there like that, and we'll meet them up in the middle, and then I'm going to powder coat this really nice bright silver, almost like a chrome silver, kind of go with all this polish work. So that would be pretty cool. Okay, so there's one made. Looks kind of cool. We'll clean it up a little bit, and then I got to get some rubber pieces and make these really nice silicone little rubber chunks. This one's a little too big, but you just cut it down and then clamp it on there, and I'll powder coat this really bright silver. That should look pretty sharp. So what I ended up doing was making my own pulley. We ordered shorter water pump pulley for a 2-inch shorter pump. But all the pictures that I saw were kind of like a normal pulley. It looked like they were going to be back here. It looked like I have to order a whole new set, and that wasn't going to work. So I just made my own. I took the pulley that I had and cut the middle out, and then made a new hub, stuck it all in the lathe, welded it, spaced it, and it actually turned out pretty good. See, the alignment's real nice on there. So that allows me to get the fan out, and I have about a 1-inch gap now instead of the shroud rubbing right on. The guy had the shroud physically right on the fins. There was no airflow on this side at all, which is ridiculous. So now I can put the fan in the middle where it belongs with the gap, and then make the shroud coming up a little bit. I have to make a little system to hold that. Make some little rod bolted on over here and give us some support for the alternator so I can reuse everything that was on there. And then I made the nice little radiator hose. So yeah, it's turned out nice. So the next thing I'm gonna do is get this finished up and then start working on the shroud, and then I will do the wiring. Well, got it done again. Finished all that wiring and all the other mock-up on the last video, and this time I did the cooling fan. Made these metal upper radiator hoses and powder coated them bright silver. I think they look good. And then made this cool little bracket for the alternator. Actually made this pulley because I needed a different offset with the shorter water pump. Made the fan shroud, centered the fan now. The fan was sitting off-centered before, and then the fan shroud itself was right up against the fins, and it didn't have anywhere to flow. So now it's spaced out. It's got a gap for the air to be able to flow through there, and I think it looks pretty good. Still got to fill it up with fluid and start it up, warm it up, but it's getting late and I'm tired, and do that tomorrow morning. There's the bottom radiator hose. Kind of a cool trick. I don't see very many street cars. I don't know if it says, like I said before, it's kind of a sandrail thing, but I think it looks cool like that, and it's pretty easy to do. And then I cleaned up this wiring even more. Put a nice sealed relay on there this time with the fuse, and then I'm running it off of the switch that it's supposed to run off of, so I'm not sure why they didn't use that. If it's broke, let's get another one, but yeah, it's looking good. So tomorrow we'll start it up, warm it up, do some temperatures on it, and see where everything's coming on, and see if it overheats or not. Alright, so I did get it started up. Topped the cooling system off, ran it, and with my infrared thermometer, it was running about 180 degrees right through the manifold where the switch is and where the gauge is. And with the fan on, is blowing about 160 degrees through here. And then the gauge itself in the car said 200 degrees. So I'm going to say that the gauge is off a little bit, but everything is working. Turned out nice, and we can deliver the car. So yeah, quick little video. hopefully you enjoyed that. And thanks for watching. Hope I found this kind of fun. It's just a short little video on some of the stuff that I do here in the hot range fabrication shop. Customer's been totally ecstatic with all the work that I've done and all the cleaning up of things. Just made everything super clean. I even put some heat shrink on the clamps, cover those up. Makes it look super clean, super nice. I just love the way this looks. It really looks good with all the aluminum that he has. Powder coated this black, so it gives it a real nice look. Yeah, pretty happy with this thing. Turned out really good. So once again, thanks a lot, and we'll see you on the next build.